Today's video is centered around a two-pronged question that came our way. What makes property sourcing agents so special that a property investor would pay them? Secondly, Jen, why do you hop on the fact that property investing, the actual education around property investing, is very important for any property sourcing agent? So if you stay until the end of the video, you're going to hear my perspective on that, as well as an analogy just to bring things a little bit closer to home about property sourcing. Welcome to my channel. My name is Genevieve Stafford Jack. If you are new here, we've been waiting for you. Welcome. And if you're returning, I'd love to welcome you back to another awesome video. So let's get into it. So what makes property sourcing agents so special? So let's just define their roles so that, we can actually simplify the process. The real estate agent is there for the seller. Somebody will call and say, I want to sell my house. They'll call a real estate agent because the real estate agent has got the license to sell property. Now, on the other hand, the property sourcing agent, this is somebody that has got time on their hands. They're either leveraging their time to accumulate an active income, or they were like me, we didn't have money, right? And we want to build a second income stream so that at least we can start paying off debt or whatever the case is. So this is one of the facets of a property sourcing agent, but not every property sourcing agent has got bank troubles. I'm sharing that was my trouble, and this is why I had used this particular investing strategy. Now, what happens with the property sourcing agent, they've got this time that they're leveraging so that they can get an active income, which is that money that the property investor will pay them for going to find a deal. So what the property sourcing agent will do is they would maybe go into Property 24 or whichever network, and they'll find properties that are less than desirable. And what do I mean by that? Properties that are being sold are usually all spiffed up, they're painted, everything is sparkling. A property sourcing agent generally will look at the ugly duckling, that particular property where the owner may have gotten into financial issues, or maybe the owner just got into a predicament where they could not maintain their property. And sometimes these owners actually feel like, I don't want 101 people in my property, but I do want it to get sold. So you'll find that the real estate agent who's got the need of the seller at heart, they'll be able to try and find which people are willing to come and purchase a property that needs a bit of attention. Now, it's the property sourcing agent's job to be able to spot opportunities like this. Partly why they need the education, but we'll come there, right? So now what will happen is the property sourcing agent will find this property. They will go and view the property on behalf of the investor. So they're doing this on behalf. They're not buying the property. They are viewing on behalf of the investor. Then they're asking the questions that make sense. Why is the person selling? What is the monthly operating expenses such as levies, rates and taxes, electricity, and that sort of stuff, so that they can go home, run the numbers, and actually see, would this, after being fixed up, be lucrative to make a profit coming in, right? And that is why a property investor will pay them, because they're going to already have all this work done, put into a proposal, and they'll give it to the investor. They obviously would have signed contracts between the two of them, right? And so the investor will then come and double check all the work that has been done, see that if there's any gaps, go and view that particular property, and they will be signing on the dotted line. And that is what makes a property sourcing agent special. They leverage their time so that they can get an active income. A property investor will pay them because a property investor generally is time poor for various reasons. Whether they're still working their 9 to 5 job, whether they are running their own business, and they really just want something to come in that is 95% already there. They can do the checks that they need to do, sign on the dotted line and keep going with business as usual. And that's what I believe makes a property sourcing agent so special. Moving on to the second question, why do I harp on the fact that property investing education is important for anyone that is pursuing property sourcing? The reason I say that is that property sourcing is a strategy within property investment. So here's the language of property investment. The language is laid out. What you can do in property is laid out. You can buy a property, you can clean it up, and you can sell it. That is called a strategy, which is a flip. You can buy a property, clean it up, and rent it. That is called a strategy. You buy and hold, or buy to rent, buy to let. These are just synonyms of each other. But then there's people like myself that got into property investing and decided to leverage our time so that we can earn an active income. I was in debt, so I didn't have access to money at the bank as many property investors do. So I needed to say, I am finding an active income that's going to help me pay off my debt faster. And that's why property sourcing. Some people will say, actually, wait a minute, I want to get into property sourcing so that I can build up some money. Because when you are buying a property, there's something that we have that we call closing costs, which is your bond registration fees, your transfer fees, the renovation fees, the holding costs, all of those things. I'll put up a video here that shows you what we do. We call it running numbers, so that you can actually understand why are all these things so important. So some property wholesalers start off leveraging their time to get the experience within property, accumulate this money so that when they go and they decide to do a buy to rent, okay, they buy the property, clean it up, and they rent it out. They then have that capital that you need to close the deal and to do the renovation. So I trust that that has answered your question. And if all of this is exciting and new to you, I have actually done a 9-hour training for free here on YouTube. My prerogative is to empower those that are wanting to go into property sourcing to have a proper background before they actually go and do a property sourcing class. And it's also to empower those that have got an interest in property investing that may just decide, I'm going to go to the bank and actually, do what investors do, borrow money and do the whole shebang. So I trust that that particular training is going to help you and equip you. I will put up a reference here so that you can enjoy the fruits of a property investing course taught by somebody that is active on the ground. I had guests and I had an awesome interaction from so many of you that come to my channel for information. So I trust that that is good for you.